two world titles. I was like, you guys just probably say that because you guys because he doesn't fight like at the MGM and stuff like that. But
Made his pro debut at the MGM, I
well,
believe.
yeah, but at the MGM, but people kind of say that just because he's fought here a couple
Yeah.
of times. But I mean, that's like I told him, he's fought here because this is his home base. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
this is where he likes to fight for his own people. You know, for all of us that support him. But man, he's huge. He's really good boxer.
He is a very good boxer. He's a very smart boxer, and he has a plan.
Yeah.
And he's very disciplined on what he wants. He has a great team around him, a great supporting team. He's living the dream right now.
Yeah.
And those other two belts, they're underneath the Christmas tree. He can't open them until Christmas, but he knows what's in every single box. Trust me.
Correct.
Because it's just a matter of time. And I'm going to put Mike on the spot. So, man, at 140, man, who's the king at 140?
Right now it would be Jose.
Jose beats everybody at 140.
At this point, yes.
Jose beats everybody.
I don't see anybody else that.
I think.
Like, I think the one that gives him the toughest fight, and I've said this from day one, is Regis. I think, and I know me and Regis disagree on it. I think Jose, honestly, probably runs through Josh Taylor, and that's with the tremendous amount of respect for Taylor. I don't think he doesn't know what Jose really has, and I think Jose will beat Josh.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to ask the tough question. Is that the toughest fight or the most popular fight?
No, his toughest fight is Regis. The most popular fight is Taylor because of the two belts.
Okay.
But Regis, to me, Regis had a bad night against, he was probably at a C level that night, and he still almost beat Taylor.
Yeah.
So I've always said Regis is the toughest fight besides Jose at that weight. I've always regarded Taylor as the third best at 140. He just, that night, it was his night. And that's no disrespect to him. I think he's a great fighter. I just don't think he's on Jose's level. And honestly, if him and Regis fought again, I think Regis may stop him. That's just the way I've always seen it from day one. From the first time I seen Regis fight to when it was getting close to him and Jose fighting, I've always thought that was the best fight to make at that weight.
Okay, you're the matchmaker, you're the promoter. Name 3 fights that you would like to see Jose Ramirez involved in. And then, Kevin, I want you to name 2 fights.
3 fights?
Yeah.
Regis, Josh, just because of what it is.
Uh-huh.
And eventually at 147, I would love to see him. I mean, of course, the obvious answer is always going to be Crawford just because they're in the same promotion.
What if Crawford no longer has the belt?
No, I would love, honestly, for me personally, I would love him against Danny Garcia.
Oh, my God. See, you can't beat me to it. Did you read my mind?
I've
Did
always
you rub
thought
my
that.
lamp? Did you wake me up?
I've always thought that. That would
Danny
just be-
Garcia was talking shit. I got this shit on video. It's right there. I am not going to play it because I'm not going to be an instigator. I'm not that guy to put it on YouTube and get all these hits because of somebody talking out of their element. But he said something that he shouldn't have said. And I'll say that, but I'm not going to post it.
I think,
But Luis knows what I'm talking about.
and I think Jose would.
I want to
stop
see that.
him.
I want to see
I
that
would love
fight.
to see it, but I think Jose would beat him. I think Danny, to me, should have 4 to 5 losses. on
Danny's a
record.
survivor, and he has a great chin. But he's never faced anybody that's going to put amount of pressure like Jose constantly.
Well,
Constantly.
Sean Porter did, and he crumbled. That's the worst that I've ever seen.
Sean
Danny
Porter
fight.
is a tough fighter, period.
He's a
Nobody
little
is going to
pibble.
come out and call out Sean Porter. Spence did, and yes, he accepted it because he is going to make you look as terrible as possible.
And that's the worst that I've
He's
seen
going to
Danny
be
look.
in your chest, in your grill, leaning in with his head,
And
doing some
he's
boxing.
He's gonna smack you across the face while you guys are. That's the thing. You're gonna hold him, and
He almost
gonna
has
jab
that
him.
style, and I don't.
He's a linebacker.
And they're not. I'm not comparing the two, but almost. Frank Alamon's watching. Maybe he'll agree. Maybe he won't. Remember when Vinny Pazienza came to middleweight?
yeah.
Just kind of coming in, just moving around. Really didn't really.
He moves so much that you're like, yeah, I got.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, you're.
And I like Sean Porter. I saw him up close, man. That dude's back is as big as yours.
Sean is a big dude for that size.
And he has that big
But,
Tito
he-
Ortiz heads too.
He played football. That's
Yeah.
the thing, and he was just small.
His
That's why
dad's a big man.
Yeah, he played football. But
And he's
he
supposed to tag me wearing the Fighter's Voice shirt. That's what he said. So I'm waiting for that, my man.
Oh, yeah, he will do it. He's a good guy. But yeah,
He's a good guy.
I think Jose and Danny would be a good fight. It's just, to me, Danny is in the top 6 welterweight at all. I mean, it might sound like I'm hating. It's just I've seen
I think
him,
Danny fights up to the level of competition because
but that's what keeps him from being elite.
Wow.
Because I feel like he lost to Herrera. I feel like he lost to Thurman, Porter. And a couple.
he should have
of
won
people.
those 2 fights. Those are the fights he needed to win to be back in
and
here.
he didn't do it. I mean, and I'm sorry, but beating.
And he needed to look wonderful last 2 Saturdays ago on Showtime to put himself back in the bid. I actually, off the record, when I was talking to Crawford, and he said, "Who should I fight?" And everybody's going to say this guy and this guy. And I thought about it, and I'm be honest answer with him. I said, "I'll let you know tomorrow." He goes, okay, and just took off.
Yeah.
Right, this was right after the weigh-in. The very next day, I see him, and he goes, "Hey man, you remember me?" I said, "I got a fight for you." He goes, "Who do you got?" He goes, "Canelo." Everybody's saying Canelo, and I didn't. I said, "Ganny Garcia." He said, "We fought 3 times."
Yeah, and amateurs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, "A good fight." That's what he said.
But
I would
I-
like to see that fight.
But see, that's the thing is, I don't think Danny's at the point, and he hasn't fought anybody up to par in a while. I mean, no offense to Brandon Rios, I love him, but Brandon's seen better
Let
days.
Top Rank use that as a stepping stone that we're willing to cross over with
Oh, yeah.
another network to make the fights happen and to give the fans what
get
they want,
Spence.
because they're very capable of doing so, which they did. I commend them big time.
Yep.
Commend them big time for the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder.
And that preview is everywhere, man.
And Bob Arum, you know what? Bob Arum is a freaking genius. Don't believe his last statement. Whenever
yeah.
he says something, because him and Dana White, they're cool now, trying
yeah.
to make this fight happen.
Well, McGregor-
He is a businessman, big
Oh,
time,
yeah.
and
He
a
knows it.
genius.
But you know, also he's talking about getting McGregor, because now all the PBC fighters gonna be like, oh, that's 20, that's 30 million, that's not 2 or 3.
Hey, man.
So
He's smart, because you know what, he's gonna send that subliminal message, because you guys all want McGregor. I'm gonna pull McGregor
Yeah.
with my guy, but my guy get in the cage with you.
Yeah. And I think Crawford will hang with them in the cage, honestly, because Crawford can wrestle. I've seen
I
those
think
old videos.
you know what, I don't know how Crawford would move in there.
A funny thing, when Crawford came to our gym, he actually wrestled one of the guys that,
Oh,
that
did
was
he?
there. Yeah, he was wrestling. And it was funny because the other guy was doing a little bit of his wrestling, and then Crawford and him, they wrestled when they were at the gym right there. Like our floors are now
Yeah,
mats.
yeah.
Yeah, they wrestled right there on the floor in the mats, and he got him. So Crawford's pretty good at
Yeah,
wrestling.
Well,
he
his
knows-
kids wrestle.
Yeah, and then he used to wrestle in high school, so he knows. I mean, I wouldn't say. Well, who knows? Connor, I don't think is the best wrestler, so who knows the level of it. But
You know, my first run-in with Crawford probably wasn't too cool. It was. I just saw him as a dry person. I just saw him as this, and I just, I held on to that. But I was, I let it go as a professional. I saw him after that, and everybody was all jockeying him for his picture. I just wanted to shake his hand. I said, "Hey, I just want to shake your hand," and that was it. And then we spoke afterwards. The very next day at the fight, man, the guy was so loose, very, very nice, very humble, very kind. Didn't turn down a picture in the house, a handshake. He gave everybody the time of day. Completely different.
I think it's when he's training or when he's got
That
someone
could be.
when he's got someone from his team, he's invested in that. The same way when he was there for when Jose fought, last year, February last year.
Amon?
No,
No.
When he fought him
oh,
here.
yeah, in the second round, right?
Yeah,
Jose won the second round with
no.
all those body shots?
No,
Jose Chon?
yeah, Cepeda.
Okay.
Remember when the guys were fighting in the
Oh,
crowd?
yeah.
Terrence was sitting there laughing and
Yeah.
pulls out his phone, starts recording it,
Yeah.
and then he goes, "Did you get a better view?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "I didn't record that." I was like, "I was paying attention both ways." He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh man," he's like, "Yeah," and everybody was like, "Oh, you know him?" I was like, "Well, I've seen him at like countless events." I was like, "But I don't." I was like, "I don't know him like that." But hey, he's cool
I
with me.
admire the relationship him and Herring got.
Oh yeah.
And that's real. That's
Well, that's
real.
everybody that they got in the gym. Nelson as well.
Yeah.
Same way. They're all good with each other. That's how it should be. They're really brothers in that camp there.
Is Hooker going to fight?
Regis,
Yeah.
I'm hoping. When I asked Regis, he just put the little emoji with. So, I
Yeah,
told
because
him-
it's just like, hey, good morning. He goes, man, I can't interview right now, brah. And then he goes, LOL.
Yeah.
Because, I wasn't trying to get anything out.
I just we always talk. So we were talking about football at that time when
Yeah.
it first came out, and then I was like, so Hooker in April or what? And he's like, huh?
Oh,
And
plays it off?
Yeah, and then he goes, well, actually, he's all just keep it. And I was
Plays
like,
it
all
off.
right. I was like, well, we'll see. He said there's still a lot of work to be done, but that he said they would love it. I would love that fight too.
We shall see.
Yeah.
2
That'd be a
fights.
good fight.
You're the matchmaker, you're the promoter. What 2 fighters would you like to see Jose share the ring with?
I mean, I don't. Well, one of them I don't think probably has anything to offer for Jose, but the main one would be Regis, and the other one would be what's his name? Alex.
Salcedo?
Yeah, Alex
Oh,
Salcedo. Yeah,
what-
yeah. Just because of
The trash talk?
because of the trash talk that both of those fighters have had with Jose. I mean, I've always seen it on Instagram, and then with the promoter, and just because of that, I would
Promoter, we're
think-
talking about Jose's promoter or the other guy's
Yeah.
promoter?
No, Jose's promoter and
Well,
the
because they're in
fighters.
the same camp. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the same.
So just
promoter.
just because of that, I would love those 2 fights: Alex Salcedo and Regis.
You know-
Regis Borges.
The funniest thing about that is my fiance, you've seen her, she's come out to the fights with me.
Yeah.
She's seen Alex. She goes, I like the way that guy fights. And then I told her, I was like, oh yeah, he's possibly being lined up for Jose. She's like, do they not like Alex? Do they have a problem with him? And I was like, why? And it's funny because she goes, he's going to lose one day. She goes, I love the way he fights, but he's going to get beat. And then when he fought Hooker, she goes, he's going to drop his hand and he's gonna get caught with something one of these fights. And there it was when he fought Hooker, and I just laughed because I was like, she didn't know nothing about boxing, anything like that. She would keep coming with me to these fights, and she was like, I love the way he fights. She goes, but he gets hit a lot. Eventually, he's gonna get hit by somebody that's gonna rock him. And the 2 fights,
I just can't wait for him to get back in the ring.
Oh yeah, I love watching him fight. Yeah, but I feel the same way. I don't think what happened with him and Hooker gives me more reason to believe that Jose would probably drop him and finish him maybe in 4 to 5 rounds.
So you watch Andy Vincent, South Tiburon, right?
Yeah, correct.
I mean, he's staying in training. He hasn't announced who he's fighting yet, but what I like about him, Mike, is he's staying in camp right now. Who would you like to see him matched up with?
Right now I'm not exactly sure. I haven't really paid attention a lot to that division.
Okay.
And who has anything to offer for him. But yeah, I mean, I've always seen that he's always stayed ready. I mean, his last fights, he always looks pretty good. He always does pretty good.
He's a good technical fighter.
Yeah.
I think he's good at neutralizing a power opponent like he did with Eric.
Yep. I want him to get his rematch. That's all I want.
Yeah. I honestly think that too.
Yeah. He
I
needs that
think that
rematch.
would be a rematch.
No, not that one with Bell.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about how he neutralized.
Oh yeah, that
his
was a
power.
good fight. That was
That
out
was
there
a
in LA.
Picasso. I think
I thought
he
he won
should
that
have been
fight.
awarded the fight. I thought he won the fight too.
I thought he won the fight.
Definitely.
And
7-5 at least.
Yeah, and I mean, but it was really good watching it there live.
Yeah,
because
it was.
On TV, it looked different. Being there, I was like, no, you guys have. I was like, he was making De Leon miss some real hard punches that De Leon normally lands. So.
Yeah.
But
that was a pretty good fight too.
I want him to get his rematch, and then after that, whoever they could give him at 130. Hey, Cancio just got signed to Top Rank. There you go, former champion.
Well, that can happen too.
That's a good match for me.
That could happen too. That was my next question, and I know your first fight back, but I mean,
correct.
Congratulations to Evan Sanchez who just signed with Golden Boy. And when you hear like people that you've been in camp with, that you sparred with, that you been in tournaments with, we'll say Cedro Ochoa, Brian Lua, Gabriel Flores, they've all signed with top promotion teams, Top
correct.
Rank. And what does it say for you, Kevin? I mean, when do you do? What's the question you ask yourself? Like, okay, my time's going to come, or what direction would you like to go?
Yeah,
What do you think you need to do to get that signature on that contract for you?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't think I'm too far from it. I think it's only been my fault from my lack of commitment, just because I took my 2 years off. But I think that's.
And you're 24, right?
I'm sorry?
How old are you?
19.
You said he was 34.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I'm not.
messing with you.
No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I just turned 19 in November, but yeah, I don't think I'm too far from there. I think with a little bit commitment and with just putting the right amount of work, I think I'm there. I mean, like I said, I grew up with all those fighters, with Evan and everybody
2021, you signed with somebody.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I mean, as long as I keep that commitment,
You'll get an offer, man. Trust me.
I think I shouldn't be too far from it.
Yeah, just stay in the gym, man. It's easier for me to say. It's just I see it in you. I see it in you, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I hear that a lot, and I mean, yeah, there's a couple of things here and there that has played in motion of why I haven't been there, but I mean,
it's called life. It's called life lessons.
Yeah,
which makes you a stronger person mentally, physically, and spiritually.
But I mean, in the overall, if I keep my commitment, going to the gym, I mean, staying ready, prepared, I mean, taking these fights, and I think I shouldn't be too far from there. So
no, and when you take these fights, have somebody do some research on who the opponent is, and they say, okay, I don't have an opponent, then why are you offering me a fight? Yeah, you know damn well who you called. You know who you emailed. Let's keep it real, okay? Yeah. If they offer you a fight, they know who they emailed to match you up. At least 3 names. Do you know who you made contact with? Do your homework, watch out, and just make sure you're well prepared, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. So I mean, right now, Coach Frank, he does really good. He
knows all these fighters around here, man.
He does really good job in helping me out with all of that. So he plays my whole team for now. So. Good. So I mean, he takes care of me. So I mean, until the time comes where I have to make my own team, I think he'll be handling all the stuff for me.
That's good, man. Hey, how's the Jet doing?
Jet's he's doing really good right now.
He hits hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's him and Osmau, they're getting ready for the Golden Gloves.
That's good.
I mean, I don't know what they have next after that, but I know that they're getting ready for the Golden Gloves. I mean, hopefully they turn pro soon so they can So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his too, man. And Jet's gonna grow some more. I seen his pops, man.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, they stay in the gym. I mean, they're there almost every single day. I mean, training. They always stay ready, especially now that the men's Golden Gloves are coming up. So
Yeah. So speaking of that, what was your whole take on? I guess Castrol's not gonna put his name in the bid for the Olympics. Some decisions making there, or something going on.
yeah.
Do you have any advice for him once he turns pro?
I don't know exactly what went on there or anything. I mean, I don't have any specific answer for that. But I mean, all I can do is just wish him the best. I mean,
Yeah.
he's grew up here in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
He's from Fresno also. I mean, I can't hate on him because he's one of our own.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've all grew up together. I'm happy for his success and the things that are going on. I don't know exactly what's going on right
Yeah.
now, but I believe that he will turn pro pretty soon. And that's going to be a very good decision. I mean, as long as he's
Yeah.
taken care of pretty good, I think he should be a really good fighter.
I want to say congratulations to Jesus Harrell. He just announced that he's gonna turn pro,
Yeah.
and I believe he's fighting next month. His first fight's taking place in Tijuana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty cool.
it is cool. I mean, his dad, Harrell Brothers, Harrell's Gym and boxing, and they do really well. They really run a great show, a great event, and I know they helped out Ernie Hymas a little bit when they did some matchmaking on some of the police officers that
Okay.
competed, and also some other
Oh, yeah.
amateurs, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So when you made that decision at 15 to turn pro, how hard of a decision was it? Was it easy? Did you rethink? Did you say to yourself, well, I won't be able to fight in tournaments, but I'm going to go pro. I'm ready. I'm going to go for it.
So it was kind of a hard decision just because my mom was on the opposite side of her view. She didn't want me to turn pro. First of all,
Oh, no, that's me. Oh, you're not. No.
since I started boxing, she's never wanted me to turn pro. She barely wanted me to
okay.
fight in amateur. So that was a pretty tough decision to make. I had to make that kind of
Was
against.
she? Oh, yeah, she was there. Yeah, the
I had to
picture.
kind of make it against her will.
Okay.
To turn pro, but yeah, I did it, and I mean. Like I said, I was judged a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought Frank was crazy. A lot of people thought I was crazy for doing it.
I always think Frank's crazy, man. I mean, because I'm thinking, who could like the Giants and the 49ers all at once? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, come on, man.
But yeah, we made that decision, and I mean, like I said, it opened a lot of doors for a lot of people, and a lot of people have followed and done the same exact thing. You know, like right after I fought, Ryan fought out there, Haney fought out there. I mean, all these other young kids, they all fought out in Mexico, and I mean, it's nothing bad. For me, it was a great experience. Like I said, I got everything that I needed to get off. Like all the nerves and everything. I got it all done in Mexico. So it was. I loved it. I loved the experience being out there, fighting out there. I mean, it was a nice trip.
Yeah.
And I mean, I loved it. Now that I fought here in Bakersfield, like I said, I felt great. It felt amazing to fight here. I mean, I felt comfortable and.
Tell us about that event, that whole event in Bakersfield. We talked a little bit off camera about it. I remember you showed me you love the venue. Tell us about the whole event. I mean, because after you fought, you became a fan. You were sitting down and you were
correct.
watching the whole event. So what was
Yeah.
your take on it?
Yeah, well, I wasn't at the first Bakersfield one, but
Yeah.
I mean, on this one, I love the venue. It was very nice. For the most part, everything was very organized. The show was very nice. There was a lot of great fights. There was I think like one or maybe two that got pulled out, but like you said earlier, I mean, those things happen.
Yeah.
But it was a very great show. I loved it, and I love that it gives opportunity for all these Central Valley fighters that are on our way to the top to fight here close for their families and stuff. You know, I love that about it.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's great what's happening, that there's a venue. Why travel all these miles when it's around the corner? I think Fresno still has some boxing in it. I want to see some professional boxing in Fresno, and it doesn't always have to be Rick Meridian. Because when he does put on a show, I mean, hands down, professional, completely. But there's still some promoters out there. There's still some venues out there. There's still some fighters that fall between the cracks, and I want to see them compete. I do, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to travel all these miles away. Unless you're under contract, you do what you got to do. But Fresno has too much talent just to say, okay, that's it, or I fight once a year, or I fight every so. No, I mean, Fresno has a lot of talent, man, a lot of talent. And when it's all said and done, Fresno needs to have its own, and they need to start doing it soon, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do, man. Because there's some guys here. They got some stories to tell.
And there's going to be probably more events. I mean, like you said, we got Marky over here fighting next month.
I want to talk about that.
And then we got, Mark Castro's going to come up. Evan Sanchez. You don't think that Joel
Evan Sanchez hits hard.
And then De La Hoya and them are probably sitting there thinking, man, look what Jose did.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got someone like that from Parlier right down the street. So
Yeah.
same thing.
What's the status with Chico
With Chico
Lopez? His last fight was with PBC, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not exactly sure.
He's a Fresno State graduate.
But that's the last thing
Yeah.
I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the last thing I heard. I don't know if he was an officer or a probation officer
Okay.
or something that was going on there. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what's happening with his boxing career. But I know that he's doing good outside of it.
That's great. That's
That's
wonderful.
pretty good. Yeah, so that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. What was the subject that you brought up right now? We're going to elaborate on that.
Which
You're
one?
talking about Evan Sanchez?
Yeah.
Oh, about
Well, Golden Boy.
the other fighter turning pro.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Castro and then Marcos Hernandez.
Marcos Hernandez. Marcos Hernandez does not turn down a fight. Does not turn down a fight. And I'm not trying to stir shit up, but when Kilo was calling people out, Mark was the only one who said, I'm good, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it was because of different networks. And when you talk to Kilo, Kilo's gonna be Kilo. You're gonna mention some names, and he's gonna go. He'll be a straight shooter with you. But when you mention Marcos Hernandez, he says, "I have respect that he was willing to share the ring with me." And enough said. And for him to even say that, because
Yeah.
Kilo doesn't really give too many compliments at all.
Yeah.
I mean, even Mike Tyson, he's telling me the Mike Tyson story. He said, "I started looking at him, but I just knew it was time to look away." Right? Because that's Iron Mike right
Yeah,
there.
that's Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And actually, I will say this about Kilo. He has reinvented himself as a man. He is a responsible person. He's doing great. He's making a good career for himself. He's a great car salesman.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know about him, and you talk to him, he's a very smart person.
Oh yeah.
He really is.
Just as everybody got to grow up
He
sometimes, and
just
really
has
has
that animal in him.
Yeah.
And
You can see that when he fights.
Yeah, no, he's a very smart person. He's going to be headlining March 21st, Toscano Boxing Promotions. Man, we got to get you there. If it's not on the card, we got to at least get you in the event, keep you hungry, keep you around the sport. Let you smell it. Be around it, man. Iron sharpens iron. Even if you watch something that says,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, look at his feet," or "Oh, I like what he did here." "Oh yeah, I know what he's thinking here." That does a lot for you.
Yeah, so being at at those events,
Yeah.
like you said, just watching, visualizing other fighters,
Yeah.
I mean, can help me out in many different ways. So I think that would be a good fight to attend. I mean, working something out, I think I can make it there.
I'm not going to let you go because I got two important questions to ask you. What boxer today has made a big influence on you, whether they knew it or not, whether you met them or not, just something that you watched or something you liked about them?
I don't really have a specific boxer that's active right now,
Yeah.
but one that really influenced me in a lot was Andre Ward. I love Andre Ward. I mean, for me, he's a huge role model in his boxing life and outside of his boxing life, decisions that he has made and stuff. For me, he's my favorite boxer. So I think that guy right there, he influenced me a lot.
When I see him, he doesn't let the moment corrupt him. He doesn't let the moment get the best of him. He has patience.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I see him want to comment and say things because somebody else might have went off, he just sits back there and says things to himself like, "Dude, you're really going to say that right now?" But no, he's a professional.
Yeah, he's a real professional. He acts very professional also too. So he's a very cool guy, and he's always on the commentating sides of all these different shows and stuff. So
No, he does
that's
really well.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Outside of the ring, who has been a big influence in your life that is just make an impact on a daily? That's this is my number one. This is my wing person. This is my life.
So for me, that would be my family, not in specifically my mom or my dad or my brothers, but in total,
Just
all
as
of
a
them.
whole.
As a whole, all of them. We all have our differences, even between our own brothers and sisters and my dad and my mom. We all like every family, we have our differences, but as a whole, we all push through it together. I mean, we never leave one behind or anything. So for me, they influence me and I influence them. Like my little brother, he does wrestling. He started doing wrestling like 3 years ago, and this year he looks like he's gonna be a state champion
That's good.
in wrestling. And his commitment. I love his commitment. He'll wake up, he'll go train at 5 in the morning, and then he'll
How
get
old
out
is
of
he?
school. He's 17, and then
That's
he'll
what's
go
up.
train after school. And like today, he just got surgery like 2 weeks ago on his ear because of he had like a little cauliflower
Yeah.
and stuff. But the pushing effort that he does, like he just puts it in his head that he wants
Yeah.
to be the best. And man, in 3 years, he's this is his sophomore year of high school, and man, he has almost killed the wrestling game in high school.
That's great, man.
So him, and then my little sister now she's gonna enter high school, and she does half and half college and high school. And while
wow.
my parents, you know, they really push. We have hard times,
Yeah.
but we really push together. And we were able to make it through whatever obstacles get put in front of us.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm going to recap on this real quick, Mike. I know we didn't get to the MMA thing. We'll leave that tomorrow to Co Escovedo. And again, you can follow us tomorrow, subscribe, continue, because tomorrow we got the Fighters Voice Kick-Ass podcast. And again, that's www.youtube.com. Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
www.youtube.com/The Fighters Voice.
But what, as you said on the MMA side,
Yeah.
Mike Afromowitz from Combates, happy birthday as well.
That's right.
See you at the end of the month, like we talked about earlier.
I posted it, so I didn't say happy birthday, but I guess I could have. I said happy birthday to Oscar's team, but it didn't post it yet. But I will. I'm going to post that one picture. That's a game changer, man.
Yeah, so
That's
him
real talk.
too,
That's
and,
real talk right there.
Speaking of Oscar and Golden Boy, all that, JoJo Diaz, former guest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Picked up
Former
a-
guest of the Fighters
picked
Voice.
up a big
And I
victory.
don't care if it took a year. He won a world title.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said he was gonna do it. And
His commitment to that. I mean, when he fought Gary Russell Jr.,
Yeah.
he didn't go back home and you know cried and gave up.
No.
He worked hard, and when I seen his fight, it made me so happy to see that he put in all that work.
Yeah.
And
He wasn't gonna be denied,
and
man.
And he told himself too that he wasn't gonna give up until he had a world title.
Yeah.
So he went back and he fought even after he got cut in the second round. Didn't let that
yeah,
bother him.
That cut was nasty, man.
and he went through it like it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
And man, he won the fight, and it just made him so happy and everybody else happy. You know that he didn't give up because he lost once. He pushed through it until he got his title.
You know what I like? Because we've had some world champions on the show, but most important, we've had fighters on the show before they become
Yeah.
world champion.
Correct.
And honestly, and I know I'm not delusional. The people who come on the Fighter's Voice, man, they get blessed. That's why I said your career is going to blossom. I'm not a prophet. I don't know when, why, or how. I'll take an example. Zoya lost a fight and picked up a giant promoter. She's more popular now
Yep.
than she was before. So it's just not all about winning. It's your career's just open up, man, and blossom. This show is it's blessed. And if you know the whole story why there's the show, but we can go on and on about that. It's a good show, man. It really is, man. It gives people a platform like you.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
appreciate you being on here.
No, and I appreciate you guys inviting me here. You know, like I said, I've seen a lot of fighters here that come to the show and stuff, and it only gives the opportunity for them to express themselves in many different ways, so the fans can hear a lot of things that
Exactly.
they might not be able to ask and stuff like that they want to know.
Exactly. You know what I'm hearing right now? Check this out. The first time he came on the show was on the radio show. A shout out to 1680 AM, The Fighter's Voice. Frank said, "Hey, man, we're going to have him on the show." He goes, "He's very shy. His questions are just how he's grown behind the microphone, his people skills, the maturity, his intellect, his choice of words, and honestly, I'm not saying your boxing career is even close to being over, but when it's all said and done, man, you have a career in broadcasting. You should really think about it. That's why I said, hey, go to the fight, make mental notes. Okay, this guy did this to win. He made this transition. People make a living for doing that.
Yeah.
And in no better way, like Co Escovedo. I mean, is a genius when it comes to MMA. Knows the sport inside and out. I can tell you from analyzing, but you've been inside the ring.
Yeah,
I have too, because I had some people say, "You've never been in the ring,"
Yeah.
and my joke's always been, I said, "Yeah, I have. I just had a microphone in my hand." So, but you really can't say I've never been in there or a cage. But no, you're doing good. I'm proud of what you're doing, and hold me up to that. We're gonna help you out there when that time comes. You get a signed fight, show it to me, and we'll take care of that for you, man.
Thank
And
you,
that's
thank you.
just maybe we'll get some more people to also contribute, so
Yeah.
you guys can match me. We'll put it on TV when we do it, so maybe you'll get some more.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome.
That would be great, man. Anything left you want to say to the viewers, the fans, the followers, man?
I mean, other than thanking everybody for supporting me, like I said, I was off for about 2 years, but I'm back, and I plan on staying.
Stay back.
I plan on staying back, and I plan on staying active. So, I mean, as long as you guys support me, I would appreciate it. I mean, there's always room for sponsors.
Yep.
You know, right now that I haven't signed with anybody and still working my way up there, sometimes it gets a little tough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, I mean, I appreciate the people that do help me, and I appreciate everybody who supports me and is close to me.
Anything, Mike?
Nothing much. Just keep watching, keep paying attention.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Hey, for letting me come into your living room, your laptop, whatever it is, and supporting the Fighter's Voice. And a big shout out to the team, KP, Coa Escovedo, and making it happen. Bobby, man, I mean, just giving us this opportunity, and we're gonna make good with this, man. This show is for the fighters. It's for anybody with the fight in their life. And Joel, I got to get a hold of you. We got to work something out, my man. Hey, as always, I want to thank everybody. It's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week.
Same when, same how.
And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of special guests and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.